The MD4 Reading curriculum is a tool that allows the classroom teacher to help struggling readers build the cognitive and phonological skills they need. Because the MD4 Reading program is game-based and self-directed, one teacher can help train many students at one time. In the ideal environment, the teacher assigns, assists, and coaches the struggling reader to fluency. In this training environment, it's important for the teacher to shift into a training mindset and focus on the process. For example, if a student does not successfully complete a game, it does not mean they have failed, but rather that they have trained a skill and are building neural pathways that will allow them to defeat the game in the future. An athlete practices and exercises much more off the playing field in order to be competitive on the field. The MD4 Reading curriculum consists of 8 areas of training, each consisting of 100 games. Each of these areas has one primary area of training and can have several secondary areas of training. Training in one area can and will overlap with training in other areas and can be either multisensory or isosensory, or in some cases a combination of the two. A complete listing of what each area trains can be found in the Progress and Performance section of the MD4 Reading website under Skills Training by Area. The MD4 Reading curriculum consists of 20 levels of training, each of which contains 5 games from each area of training for a total of 40 games. Typically, a student would begin in Level 1, Game 1 in the area of their choice. From that point, all 5 games in an area must be played consecutively, but not necessarily at one time. The student can move freely between areas as they choose. There is no correct sequence in which areas are played, although it is strongly recommended that the fluency area called Swift be attempted only after completing the phonics section called Harmony. The fluency area is one section where teacher oversight is desirable. The teacher can prompt the student with the correct reading of a sentence in the early stages of training. In the MD4 Reading curriculum, moving between levels is automatic for students. At the end of the last game in each of the 8 areas of training, the student receives an exit code. Correctly entering the 8 exit codes from each area will move the student through a portal and provide them with entry codes for each area in the next higher level. Students are also awarded rewards for successfully passing through a portal, and these help students gain a great deal of self-esteem in this process. Although there are a wide variety of games in the MD4 Reading curriculum, they follow a general construct. There is no reason for the teacher to know or understand this construct, but it is shown here for reference purposes. You will see that each game has an instructional section and several training sections in which the student is building skills, and where those skills are constantly being challenged and tested. These repeated attempts are critical to building the neural pathways that provide the struggling reader with the skills they need. The total MD4 Reading curriculum consists of 800 digital educational video games broken into 20 levels, each consisting of 40 games. Each game builds specific cognitive and phonological skills needed for fluent reading. Teachers can allow the MD4 Reading curriculum to dictate the scope and sequence of training, or they may set it themselves. Please remember that this is digital educational therapy training and not just playing games for entertainment. It is acceptable if this fact is lost on the student, but for teachers it's critical to understand that they are helping their struggling readers to build real cognitive and phonological skills with exercises designed specifically for that purpose. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen to this short presentation, and I hope you found it interesting. A great deal of elaboration and explanation will be required to gain a complete understanding of the MD4 Reading program, and everyone at EduGameStar stands ready to provide you with additional insight and information. I hope you will contact us for assistance.